Also, another question I want to ask you, because, you know, it seems to fit in as to where the economy is going down, and it also involves, this question involves record sales. So what I'm saying is, you know, as the times are changing and music stores are falling and the record industry, you know, the selling aspect of it seems to be in decline, what is Illest Entertainment's plans to tackle and get around the new generation of how people get to the music now as opposed to as it was 10 years ago?
Oh yeah, well, you know that's a true statement, and that's a true fact that it ain't like it used to be. It used to be you could just go to stores and get any kind of music you want. You know, gotta be there when that joint come out. Gotta be there. You know, but now you know it's like you gotta go. You ain't even gotta go to the store. You can just go to this site, and download a whole album or download a single or nitpick from this site or this site. You know, and I mean that's what it is. I mean, but for entertainment, man, we're on another level. You know, we got our own distribution company, Illest Entertainment Distribution, and that distribution company, it goes out and actually delivers the product to the stores, from New Hampshire to Miami, Florida to South Carolina to New Orleans and everything in between. Those products are actually delivered, and then those after those product sales come back, those sales actually come back to the label and to the artist. You know, so to put our hands around that whole thing, I mean, we keeping it moving. I mean, our sales ain't down. You know, I mean, I feel for anybody out there, sales is down, but I mean, you gotta think outside the box sometimes and just do what you gotta do. But I mean, sometimes like the internet, you know, it kind of prohibits you. I mean, you just stuck with that. But for Illest Entertainment as being an independent label, I mean, we just doing our own thing and keeping our sales moving, so our sales ain't down. You know, anytime an album come out, we doing our thing with it. You heard me?
So long gone are the days of like selling out the trunk and the book bags.
Oh yeah, no more selling out the trunks no more. No more selling out the book bags no more. That era is done for us. You know, big ups to anybody out there trying to get their product out. I ain't knocking it, man. I mean, that was the era for us, and we done with that now, and we on the bigger and better things. You heard me?
Okay, all right, yeah, that's what's good. We finna dabble into your personal business just a little bit, if you don't mind.
That's what's up. That's what it is.
Okay. First question, what I want to know is, what everybody else would like to know is, a lot of people have been wondering, from all of your previous and past pictures, are you still a member of the U.S. Marines?
I'm done with that. I did my 4.5 years with the U.S. Marines. I did that bid, and I'm done with that now. No more inactive time, no more reservist time, no active time, none of that. It's Illest Entertainment every day now. You heard me?
Okay, all right, that's good. What made you leave the Marines in general? Because, you know, a lot of people, they stay around and try to build up, but, you know, but you say, like, you only did, like, what, 4 years, 4.5 years?
Yeah, yeah.
So what, like, really, like, made you leave it all the way in general?
I mean, like, my number one reason for leaving that junk was, like, the number one reason was I got tired of going to Iraq.
Okay. That's not to downplay anybody out there in the services doing their thing. We appreciate the troops for what they do, and come back home soon. One piece, and be safe.
Much love. Definitely much love to the troops out there doing their bids, man. I mean, that ain't the easy thing to do. You know, you ain't got to be in jail to be doing time.
Right.
I mean, but that was a bid I was just done with. I mean, I went to Iraq twice. It's too hot over there for me. You know, I like the heat, but it's just too extreme heat for me.
Yeah, but you don't like it that much, right?
Yeah, you know, so, I mean, big ups to anybody out there doing a bid in Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever they might be. Big ups to them, man. I mean, but for me, that was my number one reason for leaving, because I couldn't, I forgot.
So you couldn't be here with your company?
Yeah. I couldn't be here with my company, man, and, you know, I got tired of deploying, being away from my family, you know. And the number two reason was because of the fact that, you know, I couldn't run my company the way I wanted to run my company. Yeah, I had a little bit of free time here, I had a little bit of free time there, but I couldn't run my company the way that I wanted to run my company. And then, you know, stats show and the numbers show when as soon as I got out and I came back full throttle to the corporate office and really was in there from 9 to 5, from 10 to 7, whatever, you know, the numbers show and the stats show that was a big and great decision for me to make, to come back and be doing that every day instead of just on the weekends or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, because when you're, you know, because when you're CEO, it's more like, it's not just a weekend thing or a whenever I can thing. You have to run a full-fledged business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's understandable. new album? Because I hear that you're working on some new stuff. So what's going on with that?
Oh yeah, Master P of the Underground supposed to drop winter 2009. I'm sorry, winter 2010. Actually working to get that joint out in the fall.
Okay.
But it's entitled Master P of the Underground. Got a lot of featurettes on there from some of the regional artists. A lot of artists off my label. Got a featurette on there from Birdman, Miss Keisha Cole. I call her K Cole. So make sure you go and pick that up. It'll be in your local stores. You can pick it up from our corporate office, any of the Illis Entertainment facilities. But Master P of the Underground, fall or winter 2010. Believe that.
You gotta make sure I get that. No bootlegging neither.
Oh nah, don't bootleg that joint, man. It's real good, man. Put a lot of hard time and a lot of work into that joint, and it's been a minute since I made a release. I just really been concentrating on getting my other artists out there, making sure they get their products out there. But the fans and the people like, yo, man, when you gonna put out another joint? I done did a lot of features, man, so it's my time to get my joint out there.
Right. Can you give us some highlights of that album? Like, you just said the features and, when it dropped. Well, you pretty much said everything. So I asked my own question. Can you give us some, the highlights of the album and, some tracks that you're, looking forward for, everybody hearing, or you want to keep that under wraps?
Most of the joints on there, I ain't gonna lie to you. Most of the joints on there is not a regular album. It's got a lot of features on there with me and other artists on there. I know that joint that y'all heard, Bend Over with Akon, that joint won't be on there. I'm sorry to say, it's a little explicit for my album.
Yeah.
I don't put out albums like that, but it's a little explicit. That joint won't be on there, but you can catch it on the mixtape, believe that. I got a joint on there with Birdman. Big ups to Brian down there, Miami, holding it down there. That's a banger there.
Okay.
We also got a joint with Miss Keisha Cole. Big ups to Keisha Cole. She did a thing on that joint. And then also got a Do Your Thing Part 2. That was one of the first songs I recorded back in 1999, 2000 when I first started this thing with A-Town. Big ups to him. So I got a Part 2 with our newest artist and the youngest artist, Young E, so Do Your Thing Part 2. So that's a joint that everybody liking right now.
Okay.
But, the whole album, man, is really good. Make sure you just go pick it up, man. Like I said, fall or winter 2010. Believe that.
Make sure you get 4 or 5 copies. 4 or 5 copies. Not one, but 4 or 5 copies.
Oh, yeah.
4 or 5 copies.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta support the underground. You gotta support the underground.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now, as an artist and a CEO, do you feel it's hard to do so? And what is most preferred? You be the artist aspect of the game or the CEO aspect? Because I know that's a little tough question. You got to kind of think about that,
That's a tough question, man. Being an artist or a CEO, man, that's a hard job. I ain't gonna lie. It's to outweigh my artist, abilities and outweigh my CEO abilities. I can't be an artist all the time.
Right.
I can't be a CEO all the time.
Right.
When I'm an artist, I can't be a CEO.
Yeah.
Or when I'm in my artist environment, I gotta act like a CEO because of who I am. You know what I mean? So that's a tough job to be an artist and a CEO. Big up to anybody out there that's doing it. I know what you're going through. Been doing it for 11 years, so that's a tough job. And as far as for me to pick between an artist and a CEO, man, I can't say I can really pick. But if it was a life or death situation and I had to pick, I'll probably pick CEO.
Yeah.
Because when I can see my artists happy because I'm bringing them checks, I'm writing them checks, signing their checks every month, paying people on the label just to see them smile, man, and to see people happy and to throw parties for people and to put a smile on their face. I love doing that for myself.
Okay.
That makes me feel good. So if I had to pick, I would pick a CEO. To put smiles on people's faces. Not saying that an artist don't, but from a CEO in my seat at the corporate office, I could do that a lot more and see it a lot more.
Okay.